More changes are coming to I-5 in Tacoma. Find out where to geocache this summer and get ready for the 31st annual Ethnic Fest. All that and more on this edition of Tacoma Report. Hello, I'm Anita Gallagher. If you've driven through Tacoma lately, you've probably noticed changes around the temporary southbound I-5 lane configuration project. Stacy Ellifrit has more from the Washington State Department of Transportation on this project. Drivers will need to get ready and plan ahead.
A well-traveled area in Tacoma has undergone some big changes. Traffic shifts on I-5 around the Tacoma Dome are in place and expected to last through the end of 2017.
With this big traffic shift coming on southbound I-5, if you're driving down southbound I-5 through Fife and you're heading to Port Orchard or Gig Harbor or even the Tacoma Mall or downtown Tacoma, you're going to want to pay attention to what lanes you're in. They're really going to see some different changes than what is currently existing today, and they need to think about what lane they're going to be in before the barrier starts.
These changes require the attention of southbound drivers. WashDOT is asking drivers to be prepared to give extra travel time and become familiar with current ramp closures and detour routes.
We really do appreciate drivers' patience while we complete the HOV projects here in Pierce County and in Tacoma. And we really would like to ask drivers to pay attention in the work zones. We have 7 miles of Interstate 5 under construction in Tacoma right now. There's a lot of lane shifts, and we really need drivers just to pay attention, limit your distractions, plan ahead, and stay safe.
Construction around these traffic shifts are part of a series of projects working to replace decades-old concrete and extend the HOV lanes into Tacoma. For Tacoma Report, I'm Stacy Ellifrit.
DOT created a video that describes these new lane configurations to show drivers what to expect. To watch the video and to find out more about the project, visit the Tacoma Traffic website. To give people another reason to get off the freeway and into Tacoma, the city is seeking projects that would rejuvenate Park Plaza North by adding 2 levels of parking and 2 levels of Class A office space. The city recently issued a request for interest relating to the purchase of air rights to the Park Plaza North Garage, which has nearly 500 stalls and ground-level city-owned retail bays. The property is located at 923 Commerce Street in downtown Tacoma. Responses are due by 5 p.m. on September 29th. Questions can be directed to Ellie Walkowiak. Parking shouldn't be an issue at the 2017 Ethnic Fest, scheduled for July 29th through the 30th at Wright Park. This is the 31st anniversary of one of the largest cultural and community celebrations in Tacoma. Dave Gordon has more on what's up for this year.
This year's Ethnic Fest is packed with Tacoma culture and community. Organizers say the family-friendly weekend will be full of entertainment, food, and fun for all.
It's one of those festivals that I think really reflects the true nature of the community, and people want to celebrate that, and people really want to be here to show that they are committed to this community, committed to the diversity of this community.
There will be plenty of kids' stuff to do. The Wright Park Spray Ground opens early this year, along with Kids Zone games, the Asian Cultural Center, and plenty of international cuisine.
We have food vendors that showcase different styles of food from around the city, a number of different things. It's a great cultural experience.
Performances are happening throughout the weekend with a special music collaboration just for Ethnic Fest.
One of our featured artists, Will Jordan, who's Tacoma local, is doing a special set with children in which they helped write a song with him. These are all kids from the Hilltop area. It's going to be a great thing. Come see it. You don't want to miss it.
Ethnic Fest 2017 will be in full swing the weekend of July 29th and 30th at historic Wright Park. For Tacoma Report, I'm Dave Gordon.
For more information on Ethnic Fest 2017, check out their website at ethnicfest.org. Click Cable TV's free summer movie series continues as the Click mobile movie screen visits some of our area's parks during the next 2 weekends. On Friday, July 21st, the 2016 animated movie Trolls will be shown at Fircrest Park. Then, on Saturday, July 22nd, the Click Mobile movie goes to the central meadow of Chambers Creek Park for a showing of Pete's Dragon. On July 28th, Lego Batman will be shown at Candle Park in Tacoma. On the following evening, Saturday, July 29th, the highly acclaimed Hidden Figures will be presented at Wright Park during Ethnic Fest. All movies are free and start at sunset. If you're interested in other outdoor activities, Tacoma Power's parks and hydro dams offer geocaching. By using a GPS tracker or your smartphone, you can search for a hidden box called a geocache at each of Tacoma Power's hydro projects. Inside, you'll find a tiny trinket to take home and some information about hydropower.
I am impressed with the number of people, but I'm more impressed with how they express their gratitude that they have learned something. It's one thing to go to a geocache box and exchange your little item and log in, but when they read the information about the project and learn, we always get compliments about that they've actually learned. They maybe come to a place for the first time, or maybe this is the 10th time they've come there, but now they know something a little bit more about it.
You can get coordinates by logging on to geocaching.com and see lists of other geocaches nearby. It's customary to write on the logbook inside the geocache and leave a small item for the next person. With millions of geocaches around the globe, this has become a very popular activity. Within 10 miles of the two Cushman Hydro Project dams, there are 183 geocaches listed. After the break, I'll be joined in the studio by Safe Street's Darren Penn to talk about this year's National Night Out. Joining me now in the studio is Darren Penn from Safe Streets, who helps organize National Night Out in Tacoma. Welcome to the show, Darren.
Thank you for having us.
First time having you here, so I'm excited.
Thank you.
So what is National Night Out and when is it taking place this year?
The history of National Night Out is the annual building event that overcome the fear, the culture of isolators from each other because of fear and violence in the neighborhood. It happens annually on the first Tuesday of August. It's every year on the first Tuesdays of August, but this year is Tuesday, August 1st.
Okay, a little bit different this year. So
yes.
How long have these events been taking place in Tacoma?
It happened 27 years ago when a group of citizens come out together and try to bring people together.
And so what makes these events so important for the communities here in Tacoma?
It provides opportunity to get to know your neighbor and to allow the neighbor to take back the neighborhood and to discover what happened in the neighborhood.
And so about how many block parties are there in Tacoma?
Last year we have over 100 neighborhood block group in Tacoma.
And so are these spread out throughout the city, I'm assuming?
Yes, it's all over the entire city of Tacoma, and also it's spread into the Pierce County too.
Oh, wonderful, okay.
Yes.
And so why is this an important event for Tacoma's neighborhoods specifically?
It's enhanced the relationship between neighbor, law enforcement, and the city services that they haven't seen out there daily. So those people will be coming, law enforcement and the city services will come out, and fire, for example, and community-based services and other people come and participate and build up the relationship. It's so important to get to know, not just only to see when a problem when police officers show up. So it's like build up the relationship.
That makes a lot of sense. And so how can people find a block party near them?
They can go to a Safe Street website, or they can call Safe Street office. We have all the lists.
So it's wonderful to see this tradition carrying on still in Tacoma. It's been going on for nearly 30 years. So thank you so much for your work on that.
I think because of it is like preventing and getting together and to overcome the crime is the community effort. That's why the people see the value of that, and they keep the spirit floating and lighting out there.
Absolutely. So it's wonderful when we have things that build community here in our city.
Yes, and the community, the way that I see it 27 years, that the National Night Out is still growing here in the city of Tacoma because the city's citizen and the city services and law enforcement see the value to come together for that night.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Up next, we'll get a reminder on how to volunteer on a committee, board, or commission in the city. Community members with passion, skills, and experience are wanted for the city's volunteer committees, boards, and commissions. These groups play an essential role as advisors to the City Council and city staff on a variety of topics. While member applications are accepted at any point throughout the year, the City Clerk's office works on a quarterly call for submissions. Visit their website for a full list of current openings and for updates when positions become available. Metro Parks Tacoma has more than 70 parks under its jurisdiction. The majority are typical parks with playground equipment and areas for picnicking. But as we see in this next story from Tacoma Report's Lane Fickey, there are several that are designed especially for dog lovers.
Responsible pet owners know that you can't allow your dog to just roam around. It has to be on a leash when you go out for a walk. But thanks to Metro Parks Tacoma, there are some great places where dogs can run to their heart's content. Okay, Banjo, take off, go!
Metro Parks has 3 off-leash dog parks, the largest being at Point Defiance Park. Dogs are also allowed to roam free in an area in Wapato Lake Park and also on the east side of Tacoma at Rogers Park, located on East L Street. The dog parks are beneficial to the community in many ways. Not only do dogs get a chance to run and play with other canine, it also allows dog owners to connect with each other.
It really is an opportunity for the community to get together and actually talk about similar topics. They learn a lot from each other. They get training tips from each other. They get the latest food that's come out. They get the latest dog treat that's come out that's healthy for their pets. And so it's really a good opportunity for like-minded people to get together.
I just love this park. It's wide open. There's an upper level for the dogs to run in the woods. I come here every morning when it's cool, before the sun comes up. Let the dogs run, and I'm usually here about 45 minutes every day.
The parks are not a doggy daycare center. Owners are required to stay with their furry friends in the park. And of course, proper etiquette between the dogs is a must, as well as cleaning up after your pet. In addition to being a benefit for those who bring their dogs here, these parks are also a help to Metro Parks Tacoma staff.
Not only do they meet here, but they walk throughout the entire park. And they're able to let us know if there's any concerns in the park. And a lot of times our pet owners are first up before they get out, before they go to work. They're in the park very, very early. So they're able to let us know, hey, trash can is overflowing here, or the restroom isn't working.
There are currently 3 off-leash dog parks, but Metro Parks Tacoma is hoping to add a 4th in the near future. For Tacoma Report, I'm Lane Fickey.
As with all Metro Parks Tacoma's parks, the dog parks are open a half hour before sunrise to a half hour after sunset. For more information about any of the parks, visit the Metro Parks Tacoma website. Summertime fun awaits the entire family in the outdoors. Tacoma Power's parks and reservoirs near its hydroelectric projects are always a popular destination. But one of the favorite outdoor recreation spots will look a bit different this year. John Phillips has more.
An extra wet winter has left the Nisqually River Project's Alder Lake in great shape as this year's recreation season begins. The same is true at Mayfield Lake farther to the south at the Cowlitz River Project in Lewis County, where boating and camping are just steps away from the water. But at nearby Rife Lake behind Mossy Rock Dam, a lot of shoreline is exposed.
So we're holding the lake 30 feet down from full, and we anticipate holding it there for the next 10 years or so while we try to determine how to improve the spill gates so we could fill the lake back up.
Rife Lake is being held lower as a precaution prompted by updated earthquake predictions from the U.S. Geological Survey. The integrity of Mossy Rock Dam, the state's tallest, is sound, But Tacoma Power wants to ensure that these concrete spillway structures at the top of the dam are strong enough to withstand a larger quake. Engineers are now evaluating improvements. Meanwhile, Mossy Rock Park's swim area is high and dry, and it may take longer to launch a boat, since 2 of the 4 launch area lanes are closed for now. Visitors are being informed about the situation and easily can find ways to enjoy the outdoors. Despite the lower water, the campground has been full each weekend, with reservations still recommended.
We try to tell people you still have ramp. You can get your boat in the water. You can swim anywhere in our park out on the lake. So hopefully this word will get out that we're still open for business and they still can have their fun out on the lake.
This log boom marks the deep end of the old swim area. Tacoma Power is planning on building a new one farther out. Tacoma Power is waiting for permits to move the swim area and is exploring improvements to the Mossy Rock boat launch. At the east end of Rife Lake, the Cosmos and one of 2 Tacoma Park boat launches are currently closed, as is the Tacoma Swim Beach. While there's a little less water, there's still plenty of Rife Lake and surrounding scenery to enjoy this summer. For Tacoma Report, I'm John Phillips.
You can find out more about Tacoma Power's reservoirs this summer and reserve a camping spot by visiting Tacoma Power's website or call the reservation line. Tacoma Public Utilities is being honored by a national power organization for its community service and innovation for some projects recently featured right here on Tacoma Report. The American Public Power Association presented TPU's Community Connection program with an award for helping fill the needs of low-income residents. Utility employees were recognized for volunteer activities that improve housing and generate donations of food and school supplies each year. Tacoma Power was also given an Innovator Award for utilizing technology to make conserving power easier for customers. The utility developed a way of using smartphones and tablets to do inspections of energy efficiency projects, which makes it more convenient for customers and reduces travel time for utility staff. The city wants you to know about a down payment assistance program administered by the Washington State Housing Finance Commission. This program offers income-eligible first-time home buyers, defined as those who have not owned a home in the last 3 years, up to $20,000 in down payment assistance. Payments are deferred for 30 years at 4% simple interest.
In its first few years as a pilot program, we've been able to assist nearly 40 first-time homebuyers purchase affordable and safe homes in our Tacoma community, who otherwise may not have had the financial means to make homeownership possible.
To get started, prospective homebuyers complete a free seminar and then work with a loan officer to determine if they qualify for a first mortgage loan compatible with the TDPA program. If approved, and as long as the homeowner resides in the home, the second mortgage carries no monthly payment until the home is sold, refinanced, or title transferred, or when the first mortgage is paid off. When we come back, we'll learn more about a program that helps small businesses. Stay tuned. If you dream of owning a small business but need a little help getting established, a new city program may be right for you. Maria Lee has the story.
More and more businesses are choosing to establish and grow in Tacoma, Washington.
I knew that this area was a potential option for us from Seattle. With employment prospects, the cost of real estate, and generally a little bit lower cost of doing business in the city of Tacoma, we thought that it was a good option for us.
He says he teamed up with a city to make his Tacoma dream work.
We had a substantial amount of money that had to go into the improvements of the property. We obtained a conventional construction bank loan for that, but it came to my attention that the city of Tacoma had options for fixtures, furnishings, and equipment loans at a very reasonable interest rate.
Right now our interest rate is 3%, which is really hard to beat in the market. And our term tends to be a little bit longer with furniture, fixtures, and equipment than a typical bank. And then some of the other financing resources would be filled by that senior lender, the bank, or another lender.
With this foray into the Tacoma market, he decided to invest in Tacoma in more ways than one.
After beginning our project here, which was a full year of construction, and driving down here every day, I really grew to love specifically the North Tacoma area, and ended up pulling up roots, and I purchased a house to move down here last November, and I love the city, and I'm a Tacoma resident. No more Seattle. Bye-bye, Seattle.
And business here is booming. For Tacoma Report, I'm Maria Lee.
To find out more about the city's Small Business Revolving Loan Fund program, call Jacinda. Interested small businesses are encouraged to apply prior to September 1st. Getting that first job is no small step, and Summer Jobs 253 just kicked off its flagship year after accepting 253 incoming juniors and seniors into paid internships. This year, employers, funders, and community organizations came together to provide work experience and summer learning. The program has grown from 50 students in 2013 and continues to be recognized as an innovative student learning program both locally and nationally. According to the Way Home Washington, the state's task force to end youth homelessness, Pierce County has found housing for 86 youth and young adults since launching a 100-day challenge in April. The county has a goal to house 168 youth and young adults as part of the challenge, which is just over halfway done. Pierce County joins King and Spokane counties in this effort. To see the dashboard, visit Away Home Washington. Communities in Schools has made it their mission to surround students with a network of support, empowering them to stay in school and achieve their goals. With some assistance from the city's Neighborhood Small Innovative Grant Program, students from Fern Hill and Mount Tahoma recently visited Fab Lab to unlock their artistic potential. 24 projects were approved by the neighborhood councils this year to receive Neighborhood Small Innovative Grant Program funding. A $40,000 grant from the National Endowment for the Arts will make it possible for the city to fund a project called Public Art, Public Action. Through this project, artists will convene to learn more about the Tacoma Mall area and the challenges and opportunities that exist there, as identified in the Tacoma Mall sub-area planning process. Working with community partners, the artists will develop and implement creative placemaking and community engagement strategies that address civic and social community needs.
Participation by artists is key to creative placemaking and making stronger communities. This funding will allow us to train artists how to participate more strongly within creative placemaking and also how to engage community. It's shown that community is much more excited about participating with artists and planning efforts than they are just going to a standard open house or a meeting. And this is a way to not only train artists how to do this better, but also get some real data and real impact in the Tacoma Mall area to see how the arts might help revitalize that center.
The Twitter conversation about this announcement uses hashtag NEASpring17. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report. A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Anita Gallagher.